Now, enough chit-chat. Let's fly. Damn it. My hands are slipping from the ledge. I thought I was going to land it, but I didn't swing back far enough. Help me before I fall. Sugar Plum? What are you waiting for? Help me up. Excuse me? What are you talking about? What do you mean without me you'd be free? I made you free. I took you from the humdrum life and brought you into another world. A world of wonder, of constant play. You're telling me that you don't feel free? I know I was harsh on you in the beginning, but that's because it was for your own good. You were scared, like anyone else would be, and I wanted to make sure you knew exactly what I was offering. Now you know. Do you see this crowd? All eyes on you? Tell me you don't feel it. It's blinding, outshining anything that you know. It's everything you ever want. It's everything you ever need. And it's right here in front of you. This is where you want to be. So please, pull me up. I can flip up and save our act. We can save this together. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, that little stunt is what we call the Lion King ending. We really had you going there, didn't we? When you run away with E&E Circus, you will always be kept on your toes. You'll never know what happens next. We don't just want to entertain you. We want to excite you, enthrall you, enrapture you. You might as well call us the Quadruple E Circus. Now, to keep you all on the edge of your seats, let's bring in our next act. I dare say it's one of the sharpest acts we have. Please welcome E&E's knife thrower, Zachary, and his shining star assistant. I'll let you take the crowd away from here, Zachary. Make them scream with delight. My darling runaways, what would I ever do without you and my precious girls? Thank you for making sure my sugar plum didn't run off and make any more fatal mistakes. Because of the little stunt you pulled, Sugar Plum, you're turning my show on its head, and I don't like when my show doesn't go as planned. I have to rework the last half of my show without you. You didn't only make trouble for me, but for your fellow performers as well. How selfish of you. Throw them in the cage and get me the set list. Zachary can only keep the crowd entertained for so long, until he's going to have to resort to taking volunteers, and we all know how much he doesn't like to work with anyone except his shining star. Oh, there's no use struggling now, Sugar Plum. You're outnumbered and outmatched. You dug your grave up there, and now you must lie in it. I'm disappointed that this is how you decided to end your first show. I don't want to hear another word from you. Your actions have said more than enough. If you continue to struggle and hurt one of your fellow performers and cause them to be any less than performance ready, I'll have to take an eye for an eye on top of your punishment. You didn't think you'd get away with what you did without a punishment, did you? Oh, I adore you. I absolutely do. I adore you so much that it would be wrong of me not to make sure you learn your lesson and grow to be what I want you to be. I mean, what you're meant to be. Though, I believe those are interchangeable. Now behave. You don't want to continue to poke at the hornet's nest, do you? I have a show to run. Thank you, my darling runaways, for putting my Sugar Plum's cage at center stage, so I can have a perfect view of them. You know, as much as I have been adoring having you in the ring with me, there isn't quite a sight like having you in a cage. In there, you know your place, and you're not at risk for making mistakes, such as you did tonight. I really should have kept you in there longer. I shouldn't have allowed you to begin practicing so soon, much less perform. I can't help but think if I left you in there longer, how much more grateful you would be than you are now. I can't help but think you wouldn't have done what you did tonight if I kept you locked up and watching from the sidelines until the chance to perform was all you could think of. Oh, Sugar Plum, whether you purposefully let me fall or whether you hesitated too long, it doesn't matter. Neither should have been an option to you. You should have seen me, your ringleader, your savior, your everything, and pulled me up without a second thought, without me having to say a word, but instead, you brought up your so-called freedom that I took away, and you wasted time. Watching me dangle, knowing that my death was a possibility. Granted, it did make for an exciting show, but I'd take your loyalty and your acceptance into your new life, your better life, over a pleased crowd. Are you understanding what you mean to me now? The fact that I value you more than I value what blessed me with this life, the crowd. I don't think you do. Even if I did more for you than you ever did for me, you still have a ridiculous notion in you that I took something away. You still hold resentment towards me. It was clear in tonight's show. When will you see that I have given you more than anyone could ever dream of? There are thousands of people that see our show and want to be where we stand. You have more than anyone could ever ask for. You don't have to worry about a single thing but being the center of attention. You get to show off in flashy clothes that can't be worn by just anyone. Oh no, only performers. People that have a gift that sparks fire in others, sparks emotion, sparks wonders, sparks dreams, and everything in between. Not everyone can do that. We were all chosen to be right where we are now. And you want to go against that. You want to go against what you were so clearly made to do. You want to go against who you were so clearly made to be with. Tonight, our performance was electric. No one could take their eyes off of us, not even the runaways. Do you know how rare that is in a live performance? To have a duo that can hush an entire crowd in awe? Never in my years of pairing performers together have I ever come across what we have. And the best part is that it can grow into something bigger. This is supposed to only be the beginning. Yet, you wanted to throw it all away for what? To sit at a desk for hours at a day staring at a board or staring at a screen? To go back and forth between work and home and school and home, and only going out when you aren't run down for the mind-numbing work that you need to do, just to be able to live a proper life in this society? That's what you want? You want to be like normal people and fake smiles and laughs when you're out with people that you don't even know are really your friends, or just excuses to drag you out of the rut you're in before you're thrown back the next day. You want to be like normal people with families that will compete to be better in ways that don't even matter because really, we can do what they can do. Go to school, work, get grades, get the money, pretend to have the ideal life. But they can't do what we can do. Like I said, not just anyone can, and yet, here you are, complaining. Complaining about a waste of a life, and almost killing me to get it back. Do you see how ridiculous you are now, and why I need to punish you? Darling runaways, won't you please unlock my sugar plum's cage and get in the positions I assigned you? What am I going to do to you? Why, I'm not going to do a thing, besides say 2 little words. Girls, fetch. Oh, girls, I'm so impressed. You managed to keep all of their limbs intact, and their fingers. I'm so proud of you. You've come a long way with self-control. Oh, Sugar Plum, you shouldn't move too much. You're losing enough blood as it is. I have to thank you. Despite this being a punishment, it really did make my girls happy. It's been some time since they've had a good chase, and something to chew on that would give their teeth a little more fight. It looks like the blood loss is getting to you. I call this a lesson learned. If you didn't think you had freedom before, oh, Sugar Plum, I'll show you what having no freedom looks like, what it feels like. You'll be begging to be exactly where I had you by the end of it. You'll learn to be grateful for what I've done for you. Clean them up and patch them up loosely, won't you, Gumdrop? I can't have them healing too quickly. I really want my lesson to leave a long impression. Come in. Gumdrop. Just in time. I finished the set list for the next show. It took some adjusting, but I know that we'll be able to manage with this oversight on my part. I'll treat you all to a grand meal after the show and let you all have a night on the town if you promise to behave. Now, take this set list and go over it with the others. I want the costumes changed from red to blue, and please, will you take my girls to be fed? You can have them waiting for me in the main cabin, where I'll join all of you for dinner. I don't want to be bothered unless it's an emergency. Tell everyone to stay clear of my cabin. Understood? Good. Now go. And girls, I want you to behave. No taking any extra treats or you won't have anything left after the show. We need to stop in town to get you more. So, mind yourselves. If you threw any other ringleader show on their head, Sugar Plum, they wouldn't have been able to rework their entire show in a matter of hours like me. You caused me and your fellow performers quite a bit of trouble. I don't believe your apology. I'd like to, but the marks from my girls haven't even healed yet. How can I know that you've learned your lesson already and aren't apologizing in order to get what you've had back now that you realized what you lost? It's going to take some time before I believe you, much less trust you. I don't even feel like I can let you out to stretch out your legs without locking my cabin and keeping the key around my neck. We're passing by a beautiful set of mountains. I suggest you take in the view before I go to dinner. I have a budget to go over,